Hello, my name is Prince Yemi Kasali. In today's entrepreneurial training, we shall be talking about how to prepare onion powder. You can prepare onion powder for home use, and at the same time, you can prepare it for sales. You can make a lot of money by preparing onion powders. My name remains Prince Yemi Kasali. So let's move on into today's empowerment training. These are our onions. This particular training is going to be different from others. This particular training is going to be emphasizing on what we shouldn't do if we are making onion powders. While trying to make onion powders, I did a lot of mistakes, which I consciously did. I knew this might backfire, but I was anxious to just get my powder so that this training can just get in touch, so that I can just post this particular training on time. So these are our onions. I'm peeling them right now, removing the back cover away so that we can have the inside of it. So while I'm doing this, in case you're yet to subscribe to my channel, I want you to please do that. This would make you have access to more of our entrepreneurial trainings. It's unfortunate that this particular set of onions that you are looking is going to be a waste, because I did some errors in preparing this, and this training is all about you not making the mistake I did. So if I'm wasting this for nothing, I think it's not going to be too fair, especially if you have something to help in returns and you're not doing. Okay, we are peeling the onions. So after peeling the onions, we wash the onions, because the outermost part of the onion has been exposed to dust, from the abokis, and while peeling you might have used the hand which you use in holding the outermost part to hold the innermost part. So one way or the other, there will be dirt in your onions. So we need to wash our onions. So after washing our onions, the next thing is to slice the onion into bits. This is because we want it to dry fast. So there are lots of ways of drying onions. You can use the sun, but the only thing is, if it is going to be a business, that means it's going to take a very long time for your business to get to the market. What will you be doing during those times when there are demands and you are unable to meet up with the demand? And especially during the rainy season, it might take almost forever for you to dry that. And apart from that, you need to start watching to make sure nothing tampers with it, no lizard goes around and so on. So it's a lot of stress and a lot of time. So if you really want to do this for business, then you need to get your instruments. You need to get an hydrator. An hydrator would have been the best means of drying this, because when you dry with an hydrator, it gives you the correct color and it dries normal, and at the same time you see the correct color. But another means of doing this is using oven, which is what I just used. Oven would also dry it, but there is no how you would use oven without you having a different color. Oven turns it to brown. So if you want to make it more professional, get your instrument, an hydrator. But that doesn't mean if you're using oven, you will not be able to do it right. It's still going to be okay. Being brown doesn't make the taste different or doesn't affect the scent, but we are just talking about packaging now. What differs? You can start with it. You can even create an artificial oven where charcoal will be the major means of creating heat. It's just for you to get heat. What we'll be doing next is putting this in our pan, and this is where my mistakes started. Number one error is the pan is too small for the quantity I'm producing, and just because I'm in a hurry to get this across to you, I put everything in instead of me trying to do it batch by batch. You can see I'm overloading it so it doesn't get dry easily this way. I'm only creating more issues. This is my first error. Don't do that. Don't overload it. It must be a thin layer. It shouldn't be overlapping the way it's overlapping now. Oh God, I'm still loading. Wow, I knew, and something in me was telling me, oh, this is going to be a mess, but I just kept doing just because I'm in a hurry. I just want this tutorial to get to you. I want to be fast about this tutorial. I want to increase my tutorials to be twice in a week, so I'm sorry, but this is also a lesson, so that this practically teaches us what would happen when we do some things wrong. So another thing again is when I'm putting it into my oven. As you can see, I'm trying to put it in my oven right now. So the first thing I did is the light was from below, so this is going to be cooking instead of drying, because it is going to be heating the pan. See what I'm having? I'm already having a boiled onion because it is eating from below and there is still much water in the onion, so it is boiling. So now I change the light to be at the top, to put it at the top, which I think should be the best, but unfortunately I have my onions very close to the light, so instead of it to generate heat, the fire is on the onions directly. You see, I'm changing because I can see some browning already burning. I'm changing it, but I still need to put it down. It still needs to go more below instead of where I'm putting it, just because I'm in a hurry. I felt like the closer it becomes to the fire, the better the heat goes into it, and the faster it gets dry. But that's not true. That's not true. That's really not true. So we keep checking at the results so that you can see. Okay, see, I have a lot of burnt onions, while a lot of them are still very, very watery. Most of them have already cooked because of the heat that I brought from below. So and now again, I'm not taking it below because I'm seeing the consequence, but it's still not at the lasts. So see my production, very, very black burnt onions. So my production is very poor. What happened is, number one, I overloaded the pan. Number two, I started the fire from below, so it was cooking instead of it drying. Then later, when I attempt to dry, when I changed the fire, my onions were too close to the fire, and unfortunately I could not adjust the temperature of these oven very well. Most of the time, if I try to adjust it, it goes off. What I could have done is to have picked the better ones, the brown ones. There are brown, there are black. The brown ones are okay, the black ones are not okay. They are burnt ones. So I could have picked, but all these are mistakes that I knew while doing it. So we put these in the blender and we blend very well. We will have good results, in the exception of burnt powdered onions. So this is our solution, well blended. So what I did is, when I did the first batch, I added the second batch on it. You can see it's very dark. It's very dark. It's too dark. It should be brown because we are using oven, but this is very dark. I added the remaining, blend again. See the burnt ones. I could have picked this thing. Oh God. I could have picked it because we still have a lot of good ones inside, but too careless. Okay, I am blending again. Wow. So the next thing is for you to leave it to cool down, because there will be generation of heat, so it's a little bit hot now. So you leave it to cool down. After it is cold, then you add it to your container, just like I'm adding it to my container right now. And also you could keep it in a freezer. So far it is closed. It can spend a year, 2 years in your freezer. Thank you very much. My name remains Prince Yemi Kasali. Please subscribe to our channel if you are yet to do so. Thank you.